Good morning. Today, my topic is 15 steps to improve production in your company. Work in a factory should be like a pendulum in simple harmonic motion. It should be continuous, non interruptive, and rhythmic. There should be harmony at the workplace. And to maintain this harmony, give a gentle push when required at the beginning of the cycle. If you give inputs in the wrong time, direction, for example, mindless interference in the work, in the hangar, the results could be counterproductive. Like in simple harmonic motion, so it is with work. You must maintain that harmonic cycle. Otherwise, the results could be counterproductive. Overreaction, underreaction, untimely reaction hurts work. Watch the work proceedings from far. Do not interfere too much or too little with the work. Step number 1. Choose your captain wisely. People are like sheep. They follow the boss. This is the first step to achieving your goal of increasing production. This is the one. He is the one who should help you, who should have the commitment and resilience to stay put in his endeavor to improve the production. His involvement and focus in the work will align the workplace also. That is the employees and also the direction of production. Step number 2. Production is about mind games. Mentally you wear out, you lose the game. Many managers use their strength, perseverance, and never say die attitude to come out victorious. People stumble over problems and give up. The one who perseveres and believes that he can accomplish succeeds. Many a times I have heard people say, shortages were there, I did not have the facility, I had no support, things went wrong with me. These are the talks of a failed person. A committed person will expect problems, will do some groundwork to overcome them whenever it comes. And finally, after completing the task, he will tell you how he got over the problems. Step number 3. Employ people from all regions of the country. Companies which have a fair mix of employees from different states of the country generally prosper. Those who believe that only their community or state people should be employed will slowly see the downfall of their companies. Systems deteriorate, underperformance and casual approach to work becomes rampant. The fact that a company employs people from other states is enough proof that the management values production and productivity. Whenever you have employees from one community or one state, the chances of unity among them for a good or a bad cause becomes very high. Employees can unite and organize a quick tool down and stop work altogether. But when you have people from different states working in an organization, you have differences of opinion and it becomes very difficult for all to unite for a bad cause. So production keeps going and the chances of their survival remains high. Never wish for an easy job. Step number 4. Never be happy to live with an easy job. Take up a job that is challenging in nature. For example, take a shop that has problems, issues. You learn a lot when you are amongst problems. That makes you resilient also. You will be able to face odds and handle problems with ease. That also makes you more useful to the company. When everything is streamlined, you hardly learn anything. You fumble when you face problems and you will not be able to take proper decisions. Step number 5, communication gap. Often we are not able to coordinate the work and get the required output. The simple reason is communication gap. We do not talk or spend time with our colleagues at work. A simple disconnect with our fellow colleagues can affect the work. We need to communicate, share our thoughts and ideas. If you can spend some time with your employees, with or without an agenda, it will do good to the working environment of the company. Do not be incommunicable or unapproachable. Keeping in touch with workers, talking about office or personal work issues keeps harmony and family-like atmosphere at work. Communication discharges the tensions and brings back trust. Step number 6. A stitch in time saves 9. Make a chart of activities you plan for the day. Display it on a board in the shop for all to see. Keep ticking off activities that are completed. Never hide the status of work in your shop from your seniors. Being open is ever helpful. Highlight both progress and obstacles in the workplace. If you provide information about obstacles in time, the chances of an early solution will be high, and that will reduce production losses. Step number 7. Discourage trade secrets. Never encourage a technician who keeps his problem-solving techniques to himself. He will tell you that it is his trade secret and will not disclose his techniques. The reason for discouraging is that you become dependent on him, and if he leaves your company, you will have issues, problems that may take time for you to recover. Step number 8. Keep your workplace clean. Never accept a bad product. A clean atmosphere refreshes you. Cleanliness creates an environment for quality work. You would feel like working in neat surroundings and would like to leave the area neat before leaving the workplace. You get better, sometimes new ideas to improve your performance. Never accept a bad product. It is the quality of the product that keeps people coming back to you again and again. Step number 9. Provide tools and materials in time. It is one of the essentials of good management. Just-in-time management is very useful but difficult to sustain. But any company would desire to keep inventory at the minimum so as to reduce cost of production. This is also one important way to reduce cycle time of production. This is the one and simple and effective tool for improving productivity in the hangar. Reduce cycle time by proper planning of jobs. Reduce unnecessary activities. When you plan for an activity, ensure that all necessary tools, equipment, LRUs are made available at the workplace itself. Step number 10. Slow and steady wins the race. Production is not about putting effort for a few days or a few months and then relaxing. It is about regularity. It is about every day, every week, week after week, of close follow-up with the workers. My first steps in the hangar was to build a good rapport with the technicians in the hangar. The next important thing was to learn the job at hand as soon as possible so that people would listen to me when I wanted things to be done. I had to go through several technical books available for carrying out system checks. It was no easy job. I remember going through the literature day after day. for months. Though gaining knowledge is a continuous process, yet to start off, working knowledge is essential. I jumped into the fray soon after with whatever knowledge I had acquired. My enthusiasm in working in this new company was high. I wanted to put to test all that I had learned in my earlier company. I had been working in a small automobile spring manufacturing industry and had been commended by the GM of that company for having doubled the production single-handedly. One reason was because I was the lone supervisor. But here is what I did. I found out that what jobs could be carried out in parallel. I tried to engage one and all employees in production activities. As there was only a small number of employees, I could assign the work to them individually. Third, I planned the present and the next activity meticulously so that all shortages could be found out in time and the same procured in time so that all the machines could be utilized. Step number 11. Think ahead. What next? I found this by occupying my mind with what next, I was able to achieve much more than I had expected. I found this a very useful tool in our workplace and also in my personal life. I would suggest that after you take any decision, remember to ask what next. The effect is two-pronged. That will help you better understand your decision. Sometimes it will help you reverse your decision well in time, before it is too late. It will also help you hasten your work at your workplace. I have been able to utilize this tool to progress my work in the hangar and I have achieved good results. A lot of politicians, technocrats, businessmen do well when they invoke this tool, what next, in real life situations. They think ahead of others and so they stay ahead of others. Step number 12. Holding meetings is an essential distraction. I believe early morning assembly to share the plan of work for the day is very useful. I believe that technicians and officers should be aware of the plan for the day so that everyone is on the same platform for execution of work. But some companies believe in holding long meetings with their officers. That actually disturbs work. I find it very ridiculous when company managements hold meetings with their officers, or hold long meetings, and at the end of the day, they query about what progress was made in the hangar in the day. Step number 13. Product and services are two sides of the coin. Customers' confidence in both product and services is equally important. Sometimes we provide products but forget the services part. Whatever inputs we get from customers, their feedback, their complaints should be addressed quickly. Managements have their own agenda. They engage themselves in activities that will give the company more money by increasing production, overlooking the spares and serviceability requirements of their customers. Many a times, customers migrate to other companies because of poor services provided by the vendors. So learning the hard way can be dangerous and may affect the survival of the company. Step number 14. Enjoy your work. Hear your inner voice. There is no joy like a person who finds happiness in performing his work. Those who love their job will also find enjoyment from it. It is a source of continuous enjoyment. When you eagerly await for the next morning to continue your work, It just indicates your intense love for the work. These people do not require any inducements, promotions, increments to carry out their work. Their dedication to work pays them and brings them honors. They are the greatest assets of the society. Teachers, scientists, philosophers who find solace in their work seldom move out from their workplace. They lose awareness of when night came, when they felt hunger, when the food canteen closed. Whenever you go out on a holiday, that enjoyment is temporary. But finding happiness from performing your duties can give you enjoyment for a lifetime. Step number 15. Hear your inner voice. Whenever you are confused and weary with problems and issues in your workplace or in your life, rely on your inner voice. Morning time is the best time when new ideas, new thoughts traverse your mind. As the day progresses, the mind gets cluttered with thoughts and nothing coherent emerges. So spending some time in the morning with yourself and with your thoughts can be very useful. Your conscience will speak out to you on every problem you face in life and tell you how to resolve it. It is a pure, unfiltered, unadulterated advice that every human being gets freely. Learn to hear and harness it. Yoga and exercise in the morning hours of the day helps you hear your conscience loud and clear. Most people ignore this message and put their ego and selfish motives into their thought process and get weird advices. Those lucky enough to hear those clear messages and who follow their inner voice prosper in life as they get good decisions. They are able to make good decisions. For those who get their thought process muddled due to various conditions in life, my advice would be to do yoga, exercises like deep breathing, early morning walking, or jogging to increase the flow of energy to their body. And that will for sure, you will hear your inner voice speaking to you again loud and clear. Thank you.